subscribers, new subscribers, and YouTube viewers, and my Twitter followers. This is gonna be a live stream on our city council talking about the new case of the coronavirus we received today, and probably what they expect to do about it to try to curb it and go on apeshit in San Angelo. Let's take a look. Let's fast forward it a little bit. It's just right on
the mayor of San
the
Angelo, Texas. We made a commitment to the public that the minute we had a positive case of COVID-19 that we would call a press conference so that the citizens understood that we want to make sure they understand what's going on and that there's no secrets out there in terms of what's happening in this community. What we can tell you is the case is a 70-year-old man who traveled into San Angelo having visited another country. And so this case is not a case of a local resident, although obviously it's still a case. We also know, in fact, that because it is a travel-related case, that it is not a case about community transmission. So that is the good news. At this point, there is only one case, and again, it's a travel-related case. What we are asking all the citizens to do today is to continue to follow the CDC guidelines. That is very important for everyone to do. The way we will continue to move forward with no more positive cases will be if everybody follows the CDC guidelines. Governor Abbott today at 2:30 had a press conference, and he once again emphasized the fact that we need to follow the CDC guidelines. And that means bars and restaurants are closed with the exception of takeout and delivery. Visitors will not be allowed in nursing homes. We must continue to sterilize, soap and water, hand sanitizers. You can't do it often enough, regardless of what business that you are in. But we also want to make sure that everybody understands what we describe as essential businesses. And so if there's some questions about what businesses are not essential, today would be the day and an opportunity to talk through that. But we as a city are not declaring a stay in place at this point in time. We are going to continue to follow Governor Abbott's declaration in terms of what will or will not be allowed to do. So with that, may we please have some questions and some comments from anyone here today from the media? First person, please come up to the microphone.
Hi, John Tuff, San Angelo Standard Times. Can you tell us what country the man traveled to?
I don't know if we're allowed to do that. We cannot say.
Can you tell us when he got here?
We do not know.
Do you know if he visited any locations around San Angelo or the Concho Valley before becoming ill, or was he quarantined the whole time?
Do we have that comment? Shane, you want to comment on these questions? If the answer is no, the answer is no.
The answer is really, I'd probably ask Lena and Dr. Veredas, but basically we're still researching and kind of going through that process. So really nothing to share at this point.
Is anyone else quarantined with him?
He's the first positive case in San Angelo, so he's been isolated.
Specifically, but you know, we had our control measures in effect already. Having this one positive doesn't really change what we're doing. We were ready for that, and a lot of us in the medical community were really surprised it's taken this long to get a positive. We've had several patients that clinically we suspect probably have COVID-19, and we've been treating as if they have. We don't have positive tests, but we're ready for it.
We had a call from a citizen. This is Joe Hyde, San Angelo Live. We had a call from a citizen this morning, and he was asking about the cost of the coronavirus test. He said he was told it was $80. And I asked him, do you have health insurance? He said, no, I don't have health insurance. I said, do you have a job? He said, no, I'm a freelancer. And I said, well, so you don't have health insurance, you're a freelancer. Do you have Medicaid? He said, no, I don't have Medicaid, and I'm not old enough for Medicare. So can we, I guess, find out what is the cost of the coronavirus test for various subsets of our community based upon their insurance coverage and or employment status or Medicaid status?
Okay. Would anyone like to come forward and answer that?
We basically have set up a price for the screening, the evaluation, and also a price for the testing. I know there's been some information out there federally about it being a free test. We have not received any guidance on that so far. As soon as we do, we'll change our processes. But basically, what we're doing is we've set up 2 sites. Site 1, which is downtown, this is for evaluation and screening. Set up another site thanks to partner, Dr. May being so helpful in the ASU parking lot right across from the Shannon Clinic ASU location. And that site set up also for evaluation, screening, and testing. So today we are, there is a charge involved for the screening and the testing, but we're not taking money at that point. So basically, if someone comes through, we're going to take the information down, we'll bill them at a later date, and no one's going to be turned around because they don't have their credit card or cash at these sites.
Okay, do you see that there's a gap between those that are covered by Medicaid and those that are on employers' health insurance or can afford private health insurance? There's a large gap of people there who can't afford insurance or don't have insurance. And the follow-up to that, if there is a gap, we've only tested 141 people. What are we going to do to get more people to test? And I mean, we're shutting down all our businesses here, and we don't have any data as far as how bad this is.
Specifically, what I can control is evaluating people and testing people, and that's my focus. And I can assure you that if someone comes through our lines at Shannon through this drive-by testing, they are screened, and we feel like they need to get the test, they will be tested. And then, of course, we will wait for the results. Turnaround times have been long, basically 7 days. We're looking at other opportunities, other labs that maybe have a quicker turnaround time. We found one in Austin that has like a 1-day turnaround time. To answer your question, if someone tests positive, we're going to take care of them whether they're funded or not. It's about care and not about billing or charges. It's about taking care of our community. And that's what we're focused on and we're committed to. I couldn't even tell you about the patient that we're talking about. I couldn't even tell you if they're funded or not. And I really don't care because all I care about taking good care of this person.
Shannon's done a good job based on the other communities, our benchmark communities. The big question a lot of people are giving me or asking me to ask is the number of testing. Is there, we have 2 testing facilities. Can we really handle how many tests or how many samples are taken at each of these 2 tests? And how fast are we going to ramp up the testing here in Tom Green County?
I'd like to put a little bit to the testing. In a way, I really want everybody to get tested, but it really doesn't make any difference. If you test negative and you got the symptoms, you got cough, you got fever, you need to be quarantined at home for the 14 days, regardless of what your test status is. If you test negative, there's a lot of people that get false negative tests, and then on repeat exam 4, 6, 8 days later, they test positive. So the only value a test has is it's positive, it's got positive predictive value. That person got coronavirus disease. If it tests negative, it means they might or might not have coronavirus. So a negative test doesn't do any good. We don't treat you any different based on what your status is as far as your test status. If you've got a positive test and you're healthy, you're not hypoxic, not in respiratory distress, stay home. Don't even bother coming to the hospital. Don't go to a clinic. We're not going to do anything. Just stay home. It's a virus for most people. You'll get over it. If you get sick, if you're having respiratory distress, you're hypoxic, not able to breathe well, that's when we want to see you at the clinics or at the hospital. Having a positive test or negative test doesn't affect what we do.
Obviously, nationwide, we're preparing for the worst case scenario with the spread of this virus. Locally, have y'all run any numbers, models on how many patients you can take and how many people have to be infected before this really is a disaster for San Angelo in the healthcare world?
Shane has done some terrific projections. I'll let him talk to that, but they've been on top of it. They've looked at the number of potential people in this Tom Green County and surrounding neighborhoods in terms of what the potential could be if the statistics that they say are correct. They're prepared, and I will tell you this, the hospitals, the city, we have a plan. We are prepared. We're meeting on a regular basis to ensure that the communication is there and that no question has been left unanswered to make sure that we are there and ready to respond. But Shane, you want to talk about your numbers?
What we've looked at is basically looked at our the area that we serve. We serve about 25 counties, including Tom Green County. We feel like at Shannon, our challenge to ourselves has been we need to double our capacity. And so that has been what we've been working on for almost, I'll say about half a week. My big concerns right now are personal protective equipment, making sure we have enough supplies. And I want to thank, we've been contacted by a lot of different people wanting to help us on that, and I really appreciate that. So we've been focused on that. We've been focused on working with our vendors and getting a lot of that equipment in place here locally. We've been looking at securing more ventilators, really focused on what would happen, not today, but really 30, 60, 90 days ahead of us. So my hope is that we continue to have little impact here, but we're planning if we don't. So we're real focused on that. I will also say that I feel like our physicians and our staff have done a really good job of planning and preparing for this. Luckily, we've been learning from other parts of the country, and as well as with Dr. Redis and the Department of Health in the city. And I feel like because when this person presented, we were following the appropriate protocols, and that really protected our physicians and our staff. And I applaud the health department and our physicians and staff for following those protocols.
Dr. Schultz mentioned yesterday that April 1 could be a date where San Angelo, Shannon certainly could be a site where it could be testing for the coronavirus and test these results here. Is there any plan to maybe expedite or certainly speed that date up, certainly with this case here?
What we intend to do is continue to preach the message of social distancing and to follow the CDC guidelines, because what we do know is the way we will have to extend that deadline if, in fact, people do not pay attention to the CDC guidelines. And that is 6 feet between people, social distancing, no gatherings of 10 or fewer people, constant sanitizing. These are the key issues to stopping the spread of this. If we can stop the spread and we see the numbers not escalate, but perhaps even de-escalate in other counties, surrounding counties, or in the state of Texas, then we won't have to extend the deadline. This is a daily issue. It's an evolving issue. When we see the numbers going down, we can talk about deadlines. Right now, those are the deadlines. They're firm. And what we do ask, follow the CDC guidelines. Social distancing is the number one issue. 6 feet between people, no gatherings of 10 or fewer people, or gatherings of 10 or fewer people. These are key issues. And if we do the right thing, we will be okay. We still know that in this city, people are hoarding. We need to make sure people understand grocery stores are getting regular deliveries. We are not going to be out of product. There's probably enough toilet paper in some households for the next 3 years. We need to make sure hoarding stops. HEB is limiting the number of people who can go into their grocery stores so that they are protecting as much as possible. But we have to follow these guidelines. This is not a joke. This is not funny. We've got to follow those guidelines, because the only way we will move forward and get out of this isolation issue is to follow the guidelines. This is a firm request to all of the citizens. Follow the guidelines. People have asked if they can go out and walk their dog and take a walk. Yes, you can. But remember, social distancing is important. The same thing with our parks. If you're going to walk along the river, if you're going to be out, you've got to maintain the social distancing. This is key. People have asked aggressively about what about nail salons and hair salons. You cannot work on a customer and stay under the following guidelines of 6 feet between people and do hair and nails. You cannot do that. These are serious. We are asking for essential businesses only to be open. If you have a question or concern about what an essential business is, contact Teresa James or teresa.james@cosatx.us. She will answer your question immediately. Essential businesses only. And of course, we know food is an essential business. We know getting fuel is an essential business. We know medical issues are essential businesses. We know hardware stores are essential businesses. And there are others. But if you have a question, you're having concern, you're not sure what essential business is, find out. We'll answer your questions, your phone calls, your comments, your emails quickly. This is what we're asking of all citizens. We've had one positive case. We don't want more. And so if you follow these guidelines, we will protect the rest of the citizens, the rest of the people who live in this Concho Valley area. The key thing is containment. Thank you.
Hello, Sonora Scott with KCN and KLST. First of all, I just want to thank all of you for your transparency throughout all of this. We really appreciate that. I know that y'all have had to make a lot of tough decisions, so I would just like to publicly thank all of you. Speaking to that, we have gotten updates on how many cases are out each day and how many pending cases there are, how many tests that you've done. Do you have those numbers for today?
Sandra, do you have an update on number of cases pending? She'll be up here in just a minute. Okay. She'll be right back with that information. Do you have another question you want to ask?
Yes, I know y'all are still researching about this patient who traveled, but do you have any, or can you share any information? Did he use the San Angelo
He drove
airport?
here.
He drove here. Okay, thank you. Also, another question that we've gotten for the viewers, I know you mentioned the supplies that y'all are okay on those, but a lot of folks have been reaching out wanting to help. And we've seen folks make, sew the cotton masks,
Yes.
out of cotton material. Are those actually effective? Will you use those? Could citizens make those for y'all?
We've certainly had a lot of requests. The number one thing is making sure that they are sanitary, and there's certain guidelines. And I'm going to let Shane speak to that, because there have been some very creative people thinking outside the box in terms of how they can help, and we want to encourage how you can help. So Shane?
Well, first, we really appreciate people wanting to really help us out and share supplies, and we know there's a lot of activities around helping create masks for us, and those work really well for staff that are not in direct contact with a patient, but staff, in order to protect the staff and the physicians, are working with the patients each and every day. We like them to wear specific our PPE that is appropriate for that type of environment. So we've appreciated all the donations and everybody reaching out, and we are going to be communicating tomorrow, kind of a centralized location for a lot of those supplies, and kind of get all this kind of great generosity kind of designated to one area for all of us in the Concho Valley. We're going to start that process tomorrow. So we'll be kind of putting something out on our website and communicating. People can help us. But mainly it's donating PPE supplies. And we're actually each and every day looking at getting more supplies from around the country. There's just so much is being designated.
Well, alright. It looks like it's going to run on to, gosh, all the way to 45, almost 45 and a half minute long little, I don't know, just bend over, kiss your ass goodbye shit. But, there you go. City management there, what can you do? But it's not all gloom and doom, people. Like they said, no social gathering. If you do have to meet some people, stay 10 feet away, I would say. If you feel sick, stay at home. I'll send you to my Twitter page real quick if you want. If you're in San Angelo and you want to see the stream more, you could go to Twitter, San Angelo, City of San Angelo, look them up in the search area, and they give you daily updates on what's going on. So, there you go, people. First case, the known case, of the COVID virus hitting San Angelo, Texas here today on the 24th of March, 2020. Just because they say it's one case, we're gonna have more than just one case, and this person was not even a resident of San Angelo. That kind of sucks. So I don't know where the person came from. Most likely he came from Arizona or West Coast area, maybe. Coming this way, he's probably fucking from one of those cruise ships that Trump let dock in freaking California there in last week. So who knows? But there he goes, spreading it down the road. So what can you say? Good luck, people. Like I said, what a world we're starting to live in here on 2020. Could be worse. Could be earthquakes. Could be fires on top of everything else. Well, stay safe, people. Like I said, don't get together. If you do have to get together 10 feet apart, at least I would say. If you want to be stupid. If you don't want to get the crap, don't go out. But unfortunately, people gotta go buy food, so you gotta get out of the house to get food once in a while. But if you hoard all the food, then you screw everybody else who needs the food too. So what can you do? You should have been wise enough to have a little stockpile at the house just in case this happens. I do have a stockpile of canned food that I've been stockpiling in my rig here, so I'm not really hurting for food. I got plenty of canned food. The only thing I really don't have are my Coca-Colas, which I need to go out and get some new Coca-Cola supplies for another week's supply here. I usually just buy 12 packs at a time. That's not hoarding, that's just saving me trips from going back to the damn Stripes that I buy my Coca-Colas from. Plus, they have a pretty good deal for Cokes over there, so. That or bread. you can't really save bread unless you got a big freezer if you're a full-time RVer. Our freezer space is kind of limited, and I don't want to have a freezer full of freaking bread. I like bread, but I'm not gonna waste my freezer space full of bread. I'll use that for some good steaks or burritos or frozen pizzas or something, so you can have some good little snack foods once in a while. But sandwiches are awesome. I love sandwiches. I can make pretty good awesome sandwiches. Alright, everybody, be safe. It's gonna be a mess. I was gonna get some baby chickens today, but Tractor Supply didn't get their shipment in today, so I might hold off. I don't know. At this point, since we got the Gombo here in San Angelo, I think Tractor Supply would still be safe because I don't think that old man that came into San Angelo with the Gombo went to Tractor Supply. But I don't know where these little baby birds came from. So who knows if the farmer doesn't have the damn shit. And who knows if the baby birds will have the damn shit. So it's kind of a catch-22. I'd like to get 2 more little birds. I got 2 hens already. They give me plenty of eggs, but I wanted to have at least 2 more, and by the end of the summer I'd have a little bit more eggs I could hand off to my sisters if they needed eggs or something, if the store supply was getting kind of low. And it's nice to have some eggs when you want to have a boiled egg or some scrambled eggs or some French toast in the morning. I really don't need the extra birds, and I don't want to contaminate my birds if these little babies got the disease. So, who knows? I'll have to wait on that for a couple months, see how things go. But meanwhile, I do need to get my garden planted and get some fresh veggies so I don't have to cruise to the store to get veggies. You know, I'm not a big veggie eater, but having fresh veggies sitting in the front yard looks pretty nice. Alright, everybody, be safe out there. Like I said, San Angelo is a small community, but there's a lot of communities around San Angelo that come to San Angelo to buy medical stuff. They might need prescriptions or stuff like that, and maybe need to buy some food and then go back to their little smaller communities that might not have had a Walmart around their little communities to go to. So, who knows? But am I surprised San Angelo got its first case? Nope. Been waiting for it. Knew it was going to happen. We are a military community. We have a college in San Angelo. And we do have a lot of retired folks out here. So, and like I said, how that guy ended up traveling to San Angelo, because we are kind of out of the way, unless he was just totally sick, and a lot of the smaller communities don't have hospitals, so maybe he just was forced to come our way. But thank you for spreading the crap over here. The next couple of weeks will be very exciting. We will see what happens. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. Like I said, if you have Twitter, look up City of San Angelo in the search. You'll find the site, and you can play the rest of this all the way if you want to. I was just seeing it going to crap pretty soon. The first part was probably the most important part. Wash your hands. If you feel sick, stay at home. If you are sick, call your hospital ahead of time so they can make arrangements to quarantine you so you don't spread it to the rest of the hospital. And we gotta support our doctors. Without our doctors, we're all kind of fucked. So, yep. Don't be stupid. If you feel sick, go ahead. Don't just sit in a fucking waiting room spreading the germs to everybody in the emergency room or waiting room and end up having the freaking virus. That's pretty rude of yourself. And hope if you're that stupid, I hope you freaking die. Alright, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.